The best of the Morning X on 99X. Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. The original 99X.
I was reading this story the other day about this guy who was, he was shot. He was like, it was a random drive-by thing. He was like an innocent bystander and stuff. It was one of those deals where the guy didn't know he was shot. We read about those every once in a while. Like
you don't realize it until you get home.
He gets home and he was,
people are driving and they in the back of the seat or something.
Right, and he was shot. And then he never went to the hospital. He ended up just like removing the bullet himself, like with his own.
Ouch.
And he went into the kitchen and got like his own utensils.
That's a real man, Jimmy.
He performed like self-surgery.
Ouch.
And I
That's
guess
a
they've
real
done
man.
that. Like they used to do that in war all the time. Guys would, you're out there and you get shot or something happens to you and there's no medical attention around and you're left to your own devices and you have to do what you got to do to make yourself feel better. And
I couldn't do it. You see those like in the movies where the guys get the liquor and they pour the liquor
I know.
on the wounds?
It's disgusting.
I couldn't do that. And then I was telling this friend of mine this story and we were talking about it the other day and he was like, "Oh yeah, people do self-surgery all the time." I said, "All the time?"
So he was very casually telling you.
"Oh yeah, people self-surgery." Well, he was a doctor. Okay, so he, has seen cases. I said, "People perform self-surgery all the time? Like they operate on themselves?" I've never heard of it all the time. I mean, has anybody ever performed self-surgery? Have you ever had to perform some kind of medical?
I pulled a glass out of my leg, but I didn't do any surgery.
Right. Okay. So let's say if it's like
I had a hard time doing that.
No, I mean anything where you actually had to cut into yourself and perform some type of medical procedure that otherwise should have been done by a professional.
I kind of had this gross thing I did when I was a kid.
What?
Well, my finger got stuck. Actually, I slammed the door on my finger, and the tip of it.
The same finger we cut off when the Falcons lost the Super Bowl?
I just thought about that.
Yeah.
And the tip of it, seriously, got cut in half. And I was afraid to tell anybody because I thought I'd get in trouble because I was a kid.
Let's see.
So I just held it together for an hour and never told anyone.
See, I see you being calm like that, though.
Yeah, okay.
Well, okay.
But I didn't perform self-surgery.
Right. I mean, has anybody ever given themselves stitches? Have you ever stitched anything on your own body?
Todd Butler is itching to tell us.
You remember the Daily Show story a couple years ago about the guy who gave himself his own root canals?
Oh, right,
and
that guy.
replaced his entire mouth full of rocks.
That guy, I remember that story.
He took a Dremel moto tool, one of those high-speed moto tools, and drilled without any sort of anesthesia or anything, and then picked pebbles out of his driveway and
put them in his teeth?
And put them in his teeth.
He put pebbles as teeth.
Yep. Pebbles as teeth.
Crash is waiting in the wings first. Let's see what he's got.
Crash, come on.
No, this is a good one. When I was about 16, my father had a 16-gauge shotgun, and I took one of his shells, and I put it on the sidewalk, and I took a rock, and I hit the firing pin to blow it off.
That's a smart thing to do.
And
that's
obviously,
a very wise thing to do.
Obviously, it hit the ground, and it came back up into my hand. And
Are you kidding?
No, I'm serious. Right. You can see a little hole right there in my hand right there.
Right there?
No, right there. Right where my pinky is.
Yeah.
And what happened was a piece of metal lodged itself so deep in my hand that I thought I just cut myself. It was bleeding real bad. I just put it away, whatever.
Right.
About 2 weeks later, the metal started to surface. My dad was a chef, put my hand down, took a boning knife, stuck it in alcohol, and cut my hand and pulled the piece of metal out. I mean, it was a big chunk of metal from the shotgun shell.
No kidding.
That bounced back up. So, yeah. So, kids, if you're going to...
I'm surprised you didn't get killed. I mean, because that's a sprays, the buckshot.
It could have. I mean, it blasted everywhere, but only the one piece came back in my hand. I mean, I could have taken my head off.
You're 33, right?
I'll be 34 Friday.
Friday's your birthday?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How have you not died yet? All the stuff that you have been through and gone through, how
your
have
body,
you not...
taken out of your body.
What I'm saying, how are you still standing?
You know what? And people tell me when they see my tattoo, they go, when you're 70, that's going to look like crap. And I go, if I make it to 70,
he ain't going
that's
that distance.
Blessing.
It's a bonus.
All right. Chris, is this you?
Yeah, how you doing?
There you go. Hey.
Good to talk to you guys. How are you this morning?
Good. You?
Good.
Good.
Everybody's
yourself
good. We're all good.
Good. My freshman year in college, not something I should probably be too proud of, but I had a buck knife and I was kind of throwing it up and down in the air and catching it at the handle. Well, I was a little bit drunk and it happened to just stick straight down into my hand. So instead of going to the doctor, I decided that I had a pin and some fishing wire, and I gave myself 4 stitches in my hand.
Now
that's a smart drunk pastime. Throwing a buck knife in the air and catching it by the hand.
That's one of those.
Man.
You know what?
College,
That's one of those. Y'all watch this things, right?
I'm going to throw this knife up and catch by the
I was
handle.
wishing the next day I hadn't done it, though. It was extremely painful.
Now, you know what they say you can use now that a lot of people use to
Glue.
mend skin? Crazy glue.
Yeah, you know, I
Crazy
heard that.
glue is a good mender. You make sure you don't get it in the cut, but if you squeeze the cut together, and then you can put a protective layer of crazy glue over, I'm told that'll
Beautiful.
work fine.
Next time
When
we do that-
you stitched yourself, did you have anything to anesthetize the area?
No. After I stitched myself, I just used a little bit of alcohol, but it was just on the top of it. It was bleeding pretty bad.
I mean,
so.
didn't that a dumb question? But I mean, see, I couldn't stick a needle into my skin and sew my skin. It would just be too painful.
I did them pretty shallow. It wasn't. I didn't go real deep like a doctor probably would. Just enough to keep it closed. I don't. I was all proud of it.
What did you use? Your mom's sewing kit that she sent up with you for freshman year? What did you use to sew?
I just had a needle, exactly, a kit.
I can't even
sewing kit.
I don't even know how to sew on a button. I don't know how I'd sew my hand. All right.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Oh, sorry, Jennifer.
Yes.
All right. I like this one.
Well, I guess it was a couple of years ago, and I bit my tongue, and, part of my taste bud popped up. And
Part of your taste bud
your
popped
taste
up.
bud's on your tongue, and it got swollen, and the dentist wouldn't cut it off. He said it was harmless, and it got probably the size of a Tic Tac, maybe bigger. And one day I just got fed up with it, and I tied some dental floss around it, put some ice on it, and whacked it off with a ginseng knife.
Oh, God.
I'm going to pass out.
Oh, my God. Oh, sister.
My mother says
Sister.
I have balls of steel.
Did you catch it?
Oh, my God.
Did I catch it? It was tied to the dental floss.
Oh. Well, now, after you did that, because I've had that happen where, like, you burn your tongue on pizza and it gets, inflamed, and you think, I just got to bite this thing off. But then my good senses come to me. At the end of this, did you think, that was kind of a bad idea?
No, I was happy it was gone.
Did it bleed for a while?
It bled a lot.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, I would just stop cutting when I couldn't take the pain, and then just put some more ice on it and keep going.
But I mean, afterwards, did it
No, I mean, you can't even tell that it was ever there. My husband had tried with like some needle nose pliers, but he couldn't bring himself to do it.
Here comes the dude with the needle nose
Come here, honey,
pliers.
open
Your
your mouth.
husband tried to cut her taste bud off her tongue with a needle nose plier.
Come here, honey.
I mean, what does that scene got to look like?
Sit still.
You won't believe where this is headed. More after a quick break. This story isn't over. You're on the best of the Morning X on 99X.
The Bigger Pockets Podcast Network is your home for real estate investing.
So why real estate?
We keep saying it, but the housing market is shifting more and more towards a buyer's market every week.
Guess what, folks? You can still buy real estate today.
You can buy a quality rental property today
And build an investment portfolio that cash flows monthly.
These are my favorite markets for cash flow.
And build wealth long term.
The world has changed, but the best way to invest in real estate hasn't.
Search for the Bigger Pockets Real Estate Show anywhere you listen to your podcasts.